This Sale of Goods Act is going to govern the contract that is made by the seller and a buyer, right? It is nothing but Sale of Goods Act 1930. This Consumer Protection Act does not protect every consumer, hence it is going to protect the consumer who is listed under the definition of a Consumer Protection Act 1986. There are certain terms and conditions which comes under the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 that must be followed in India. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Mr. Hemant Kumar from the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Aid College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. In today's session, we are going with the introduction of a new subject, that is Business Law for 6th semester BBA students. This is the agenda of today's session. We are going with units that is included as per the syllabus of University of Mysuru. The University of Mysore had included 5 units in this subject. Marks details. This marks details includes both internals and externals. So, as of now, this syllabus is as per NEP syllabus. So, this is 60 and 40 pattern. 60 marks is for final exam and 40 marks is for internal assessment. Okay, so 60 and 40 pattern. Contents of the syllabus, as I said, this syllabus consists of 5 units. Unit number 1, that is Indian Contract Act 1872. Unit number 2, the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Unit number 3, Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Unit number 4, Consumer Protection Act 1986. Number 5, Environment Protection Act 1986. These are the 5 units or the 5 modules that is included in the syllabus as per the University of Mysuru. And also we are going with some skill development activities, marks details, internal assessment test, question paper pattern for final exam, books for reference. These are the contents that we are going through in today's session. Unit 1, Indian Contract Act 1872. This Indian Contract Act 1872, it is not formulated by the individuals, hence it is formulated by the legislature of the British regime in India on 1st September 1872. So, here we are going to learn the terms and condition that is as per the rule which comes under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Introduction, definition of contract, essentials of valid contract, offer and acceptance, and consideration. These are the 3 important terms in this unit. Contractual capacity, free consent, classification of contract, discharge of contract, breach of contract, and remedies to breach of contract. These are the various topics that is included in the syllabus for module 1. Moving forward, module 2, it is Sale of Goods Act 1930, where this Sale of Goods Act is going to govern the contract that is made by the seller and a buyer, right? It is nothing but Sale of Goods Act 1930. So, we are going with the introduction of Sale of Goods Act 1930, definition of contract of sale. What do you mean by this contract of sale? Between whom and whom the contract of sale is going to happen. Essentials of contract of sale. There are some essential elements that should be considered in a contract of sale. Conditions and warranties that is assured by the seller to the buyer. And transfer of ownership in goods, including sale by non-owner and its exceptions. Performance of contract of sale in terms of unpaid sellers. So, what happens if a contract is going to happen for the unpaid seller, that we are going to learn. Rights of an unpaid seller against the goods and against the buyer. So, what the unpaid seller can claim against a buyer and against a goods. So, there is an important feature for Sale of Goods Act 1930. This Sale of Goods Act 1930 is applicable for whole India excluding the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Means this law is not applicable for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Moving forward, Module 3, Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Right? So, in this Negotiable Instrument Act, we are going to learn three kinds of negotiable instruments. One is promissory note, bills of exchange, and checks. Okay. So, here we are going to learn about the terms and conditions that is made by the law regarding the negotiable instruments. Okay. Introduction, meaning and definition of negotiable instruments, characteristics of negotiable instruments, kinds of negotiable instruments. As I said, there are three kinds of negotiable instruments: promissory notes, bills of exchange, and check. So, we are going with meaning, characteristics, and types. So, meaning of promissory note, types of promissory note, and also characteristics of promissory note, followed by bills of exchange and check. Parties to negotiable instrument. Who are the two parties who is going to participate in the negotiable exchange of negotiable instrument? Discharge of negotiable instruments. There are certain terms and conditions which comes under the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 that must be followed in India. Notice of dishonor, noting and protecting. These are the topics we are going to learn under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. And again, Module 4, Consumer Protection Act 1986. It is also an important unit that is included in the syllabus. Here we are going to learn about the consumer protection that is made by the state and central government. So, which are all the rules, regulations, norms that is made by the legislature, and also there are certain consumer protection agencies to safeguard the rights of a consumer that we are going to learn in this unit. As the name itself, it is going to say this act is introduced to protect the consumer from the cheating and harassment that is made by the seller. Right? So, definition of terms. So, here we are going with the definition of different terminologies which we can expect 2 marks question from these terms for final exam. Consumer, consumer dispute, defect, deficiency, unfair trade practice, and services. So, these are the important definitions that is included in the Consumer Protection Act 1986. And also we are going with rights of a consumer under the act. So, here we are going to learn about the rights and responsibilities of a consumer. Being a consumer, what are his rights, right? And again, consumer redressal agencies. So, these consumer redressal agencies are going to protect the rights of the consumers from the harassments. These consumer redressal agencies are formulated to protect the consumer rights. Among them, first one, district forum. So, in each and every district of India, okay, so there is a district forum where if a consumer get cheated by any kind of a seller or the company, so he can file a case against the seller or the company. And state commission. Okay, so in each and every state of India, okay, so there is a state commission where a consumer can file a case against a seller or a company. And national commission. This national commission is located in New Delhi. If any dispute is going to happen for the customer, he can file a case against a company. So, this national commission is formulated for the big disputes which is located in New Delhi. Okay, so when it comes in terms of a district forum, in Mysuru also there is a district forum, in Bangalore also district forum, each and every district has its own district forum. And state commission, okay, state commission of Karnataka is located in Bangalore, and again the National Commission of India is located in New Delhi. This Consumer Protection Act 1986 have two important features. Feature number 1, this Consumer Protection Act does not protect every consumer, hence it is going to protect the consumer who is listed under the definition of a Consumer Protection Act 1986. Right? So, according to the Consumer Protection Act, who is a consumer? Consumer is considered as a end user of a product or the commodity under the Consumer Protection Act. Say for an example, a customer purchased the goods for his personal consumption, he becomes a consumer under the Consumer Protection Act, where he have a complete right to file a case against a seller or a company. But a customer who is going to purchase a commodity for the commercial purpose or commercial use or resale of a commodity, he does not have any right to file a case against a company or a seller. Moving forward, Unit 5, Environment Protection Act 1986. This Environment Protection Act is introduced to develop the environment and also to protect the environment from the hazards. Introduction. Objectives of Environment Protection Act. There are certain objectives behind this act. Definition of important terms. So as I said, so this important terms we can expect for 2 marks in the final exam. Environment, pollutant, environment, pollution. So there are a difference between environment, pollutant and pollution. I had given the difference between the pollutant and pollution in the notes. Hazardous substance and occupier. Okay, so these are the important topics that we can expect for 2 marks in final exam. Types of pollution. Powers of central government to protect the environment in India. So here it is going to say about the powers and responsibility of a government of India to protect our environment. Which are the rules and regulations that is made by the government of India, right? To protect our environment. It may be in terms of industries, it may be in terms of automobiles. As per agenda, marks details. So as I said, this paper comes under the new NEP scheme, that is 40 by 60 scheme, right? So here when it comes in terms of business law, it is a valid paper of 100 marks. This 100 marks is divided into 2 categories. Category 1, internal component. Category 2, external component. So when it comes in terms of a internal component, that is for 40 marks, this internal component is divided into 2 categories. Based on this 2 categories, the internal marks will be allotted. So category number 1, continuous and comprehensive evaluation. It is nothing but the assignment that is given in the college, which must be completed by the students within the specified period of time. And component B, it is nothing but internal assessment test that is conducted in the college. Here component 1 and 2 will be C1 and C2. Okay, so 20 plus 20 give rise to 40 marks. So it is the total CIE A plus B, continuous internals evaluation. And semester end examination, it is part C, that is for 60 marks. 60 plus 40 give rise to 100 marks. Okay, so this is a criteria for 100 marks. So marks details. If you want to get qualify in this paper, you must score a minimum of 21 marks out of 60 marks in the final exam, and also that is 30% criteria, and also you must score 40 marks out of 100 including externals and internals. I repeat, in final exam you must score minimum of 21 marks to get qualified in this paper, and also you must score 40 out of 100 including internals and externals to get qualified in this paper. Internal assessment test pattern. So as I said, this internal assessment test is classified into 2 categories, C1 and C2. Okay, so C1 test, C2 test. This is a pattern of C1 and C2 test. Okay, C1 test same pattern for 30 marks, and again C2 test same pattern 30 marks. Here this 30 marks we are going to scale down for 10 marks, and we are going to get enter in your final marks card. Okay, so this test will be conducted for 30 marks and the duration is 1 hour 30 minutes, and this paper consists of 3 segments: part A, part B and part C. Okay, in part A there are 2 questions of 5 marks, of which we are supposed to attend any one among them. 5 ones are 5. Again, part B consists of 2 questions of 10 marks, of which you are supposed to attend any one among 2 questions. 10 ones are 10. Again, in part C also there are 2 questions of 15 marks, among which you are supposed to attend any one among 2 questions, that is 15 ones are 15. So this is a internal test pattern. When it comes in terms of a final exam question paper, this is a pattern of final exam question paper. Your question paper consists of 3 parts, that is part A, part B and part C. In part A, there are 7 questions of 2 marks. Please note down this point. In part A, there are 7 questions of 2 marks, of which you are supposed to attend any 5 questions. That is 2 5s are 10. Again, in part B, there are 4 questions of 10 marks, of which you are supposed to attend any 2 among them. That is 10 2s are 20. In part C, there are 4 questions of 15 marks, of which you are supposed to attend any 2 among them. That is 15 2s are 30. 10 plus 20, 20 plus 30 is equal to 60. So this is your final exam question paper pattern. Moving forward, here I had suggested some books for the reference so that it is going to benefit for you to gain more knowledge. Other than this, the notes that I am going to circulate you is much than enough to score out of out marks in your final exam. And also, go with the study materials, go with the contents, go with the videos. It is going to benefit you for your final exam. I am going to assure you, telling that if you go through the complete content of video and notes, 100% I am sure you can score 100 out of 100. So, all the best, dear students. Go with the things. Thank you.